So I just got done watching 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and
I left alone.
I'm coming around on it.
My mind was blank. I needed time to think to get the memories from my mind.
Look, cards on the table. I do not like the 28 Days Later sequels. Any of them. Just on principle. The original film is sort of a big deal to me. Alongside Sunshine, 28 Days Later is the movie that made me a permanent believer in director Danny Boyle, as well as screenwriter turned legendary director in the making Alex Garland. I can't help but look at this movie without my personal bias of death by sequel creeping in. And what I mean by that is that quite a number of sequels, in all media, have to live with huge plot holes, go back on established rules, retcon things, and or sacrifice a lot of suspension of disbelief just to exist. That's these sequels in a nutshell. And yes, I will always hold that against them. However, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch the third movie. Once the plot started, I found myself completely giving a shit. The story is split between a lost boy and a doctor who both separately get mixed up with a creepy psychopath and have to somehow get away from him. Once things got in motion, it was fantastic, but the first fucking third can be boiled down to the stupid-ass, drawn-out cliche of giggling cartoon maniacs torturing and killing people. These sequences shatter my immersion the same way ultra-choreographed fight scenes do because I know the rules are just being made up. Every single one of these masturbation fantasies is the same. They take too long, and the inevitable limp dick ex machina climax that always punctuates the jerkfest is just as messy as the metaphor I'm using. Credit where credit is due, there's a payoff here. It's not meaningless, but this cliche bullshit is the exact opposite of the excellence that followed. And I say excellence with no hesitation. Hey, no joke, there was a scene in this film that I thought was as brilliant as it was utterly ridiculous. I'm talking why we watch movies bordering on legendary, and I don't mean Samson's big floppy cock. Once the story got past the bullshit, it got euphoric, introspective, weird, and it stayed that way until the end. The whole middle of the movie was like Day of the Dead, where everyone sat around doing experiments, calisthenics, and paperwork while they ignored the catastrophic final act creeping closer. This is all thanks to the story subtly transitioning away from scared little Spike and cartoon Psycho Jimmy over to intelligent, resourceful, and thoughtful Dr. Satan, whose life of hanging out with monsters, using unlicensed medical practices to try and cure the apocalypse, grounded the entire story. Satan gave me someone relatable to root for. The best scene for me was definitely when he first crossed paths with Psycho Jimmy. What starts out as a quiet conversation about the world before ends with a person using their wits to try and slowly back away from a grizzly bear. In that moment, the masterful hands of writer and director were on full display, not to mention the spectacular acting. Ralph Fiennes carried this motherfucker. I mean, he was amazing. I'll forever love Jack O'Connell because of his work in Sinners, and he was great here too. Meanwhile, with respect to young Alfie Williams, he looked scared shitless and cried for a whole movie. Just great work all around. I didn't even want to watch this movie, but the buzz online was pegging it as way better than the first part. Well done you, Internet. It all makes perfect sense to me now that they're going to run this shit into the ground with 29 sequels, 3 television spin-offs, a video game tie-in, breakfast cereals, you know the drill. It still wiped its ass with the rules and logic of the original 28 Days Later, sure, but the objective truth is that it was a weird and unique character-driven story. Being weird and unique is really more valuable than any kind of bullshit discussion about good or bad. Sum total, it's different, and at times even clever. Those are hard notes to hit, especially for a horror movie. I still want to punch these movies in the fucking face, but regardless of that, you should go watch 28 Years Later Part 2. I'd give it a 10, I guess. Maybe not a 10, but like a 10. It was certainly way better than 28 Years Later Part 1, and way, way, way better than stupid, fucking, dumb-ass 28 Weeks Later bullshit. God, fuck that movie. Still a 10, though.